You can't produce your own food. How you want the war if you can't produce your own knowledge about your own self? So one thing we need to really understand is the importance of science's knowledge. We need to push that. That's what develops societies. A rapper don't develop, that ain't nothing. So anyway, that's something we have to be a lot more conscious about, because what happens, they have scientists to know, like, hey, so when you have a community that's underserved.
Can I interject?
Okay.
Just for 1 second. Remember, I know you gotta talk, man, but I just
gotta No, go ahead.
Listen, I seen this years ago. They were doing a study on these rats, and they had a big old maze. And at the beginning, they would feed the rats on a regular basis, and the maze was big. But as the days went on, they fed the rats less and less, and made the maze smaller and smaller. The bigger rats started turning on the smaller rats, raping them, taking all the food, and then at the end of the day, they start eating them. And that's the same way these ghettos are set up. Like they did.
Well, that's it. That's why I'm glad you. That's it.
It's by design.
Yeah.
Go ahead, break it down. I know
Okay.
you know. I know you know.
Now listen.
Go ahead, break it down, bro.
The process of starvation, right? If I lock you in a closet for about 4 or 5 days, first thing you gonna do, your system gonna shut down, and your system is gonna turn inward and start feeding on itself. That's the process of malnutrition. You're gonna get skinny. I'm gonna start seeing all your little skeletal development. I can see.
Eat your muscles, everything.
Right. So if you take a people and you deprive them of freedom, justice, equality, and strip them of the knowledge of self, and then you isolate them and segregate them, they're gonna shut down and turn inward and start feeding on one another.
Of course.
So we become the #1 rapers, robbers, murderers of self. But it's by design. And so a person who doesn't understand those processes, they'll say, look at them people. Why they act like that?
Black on black crime.
Yeah. And this is where our people, particularly y'all black women, and they see, ain't no white man making us do this. It is. You just don't understand the overall bigger picture. Because it is a white man, let me say this, because all these things are interconnected. If you, as a black woman getting a voucher, right? They tell her you can't have no man in your house.
Can't have no man now.
Right? That's a part of you having a voucher. Can't have no man. Destruction of the family. Right? And for the most part, the man is in a situation where it's hard on him. Because he's public enemy #1. We think when you say, man, it's hard to get a job, it's hard out here on the man. We think, oh, he's just making excuses. Because we fed into the American reality. We think we white. No, you are public enemy #1. Since America has been established, you are the public enemy the white man hates your guts. It's a war against you. You the chessboard. His goal is to checkmate you. And we don't understand that. And because we in denial about that, we ignore those variables, we don't even know how to move. But if we function like that, Dr. Amos Wilson said,
oh, that's my man.
Dr. Amos Wilson said, suppose all black people said the white man is the devil. He said, not whether he the devil in reality or not. He said, just suppose we just function like that. Took it as an ideology. He said, you ain't gonna send your children to the devil's school. You ain't gonna let the devil educate your children. You ain't gonna put your money in the devil's bank. You gonna put your money, you gonna see the need to put your money in your own bank. You ain't gonna eat the devil's food because you know the devil gonna kill you. You gonna have your own food. He said we just took that as a ideology, as 30 to 40 million black people in America. Would we be on top or would we be on bottom? We'd be on goddamn top. So don't argue with me or don't say that. We trying to win.
Yeah.
We trying to win. We trying to be strong. And we got to develop a strong perspective, a strong ideology. We so scared to be black and strong.
And separated. They even separated us on all levels.
If I say something too strong and militant, you ain't gonna say what I'm saying is not true, because you know it's true. You afraid how Jim Bob feel about it. I don't care what Jim Bob thinking, I'm talking to you. Does that make sense? That's how we as a people are. So we tiptoe. So we afraid to speak truth to power. We say we believe in Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior, but he said you should know the truth and the truth will make you free. But we scared of
and
it.
ain't nobody trying to die.
Right.
I believe Jerry Crowder let me shoot you. Nah, I don't want to meet him.
Right.
Though.
Along with that, you know, one thing I've seen too is that societies, well, I see that one, we have to know the game.
Right.
We have to know that this is war, right? And we have to look at it from a logical, not emotional, but logical. It makes sense. You have developed the wealthiest economy in the world, in European world history, off of the distribution of human resources.
That's right.
Not only, and it was a quote that said, at first they wanted the humans, now they want the land. Because Africa now is being taken over, just the continent, because of its rich wealth of resources. So you have to understand that this society used humans to develop this wealth, and so this is a major threat. You have to understand. This have to look at it as it make common sense. I cannot lift my foot off of his neck because this is a major threat, and we know that the capabilities of this threat. So you have to do all that you can, and they don't use emotionalism. They use science. Science proves that people with rats, if rats in bad circumstances, they will take cocaine over food. This is scientific. They know this. This is not emotional. This is not like I just hate white people. This is war. This is science. This is proper. So they use all the resources they can, science, to understand that we have to keep this situation in check. If not, then the veil will be lifted. The emperor is naked, because the emperor only make up a certain percentage of the world society. So I just think, along with what y'all saying, that we have to understand that this is not the war of bam bam shooting up third world nuclear weapons. This is the war of propaganda, chemical warfare, and all the other things that stop society from developing.
I want to tie this to colonialism. I think that everything that we're dealing with white supremacy, everything is like, what's his name? Dr. Neely Fuller said, if you don't understand white supremacy, what it entails, everything else that you understand will only confuse you. So, because if you're not conscious and you talk, our people are deaf, dumb, and blind. Our people are ignorant. So when you talk to them, they think you just this angry militant black person just talking. No. When we deal with colonialism, there's not one place on Earth, 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth. There's not 1 mile on the Earth that the white man didn't go and rape, robbery, and murder followed. He
enslaved.
The Asia, Africa, Latin America, everywhere he went, it's the same MO, the modus operandi. Because as black people, when we get to talking about the struggles that we face with, people think that you just always complaining. And no, this is a struggle against white supremacy, a global struggle where we want to be whole. We want to be, we exert our own self. We don't want to be what Frantz Fanon called black skin, white mask. No, we want to be black people, strong people, independent people. I don't want to have a white man name.
And it's interesting. I'm glad you mentioned Frantz Fanon. I don't want to go too long with it, but he was a psychiatrist, a doctor. And and I think a lot of you guys, if we talk about these things, check out Wretched the Earth. And he'll give you the understanding of what colonials have done to the mind, and his part of his ideology is that a colonized people cannot get freedom. It has to be a struggle for freedom, because the violence that's happening in colonized society is because of the unconscious knowing of not rebelling. And so it like you said, it goes internal. And so just like the guy who go to work and the boss treat him like some garbage, he come home and beat his wife and his kids. Is that phenomenon that's happening within our community. The
self-hatred that we see displayed in our community. We need to know who we are. Once we know who we are, like me, I'm gonna use myself as a perfect example. Me being a young, ignorant Negro on Georgia Avenue, not knowing nothing, right? I knew it was wrong to sell drugs. I knew it was wrong to carry a gun, right? I knew that morally, but everybody I was around had a gun. Everybody I was around sold drugs. There was the majority. There was no success story. There was a time in my life where it was a teacher at Roosevelt. I was selling her coat. She supposed to represent role models. This is a teacher. I'm a little boy. She buying coat from me. So there was no like consciousness to give me some guidance. Now there's one thing to be like conscious as a knowing right from wrong, but then there's another thing to be conscious as a black person, knowing your responsibility, knowing that you've been participating in genocide.
I'm gonna say I hate to go against you,
Go
brother,
ahead.
man.
I welcome that.
I'm gonna say,
come on,
you are wrong.
come on.
You know why? Because as a young adolescent male, all you was doing was practicing capitalism. We watched on TV, rich and famous, lifestyle. Everything we saw, we had an opportunity to represent that within our own sphere of influence. So for me, as a child who hasn't developed to have the understanding of what a man should know, you were only practicing what, did you want to, I remember one time I was high off, me and my friend, we was in the car and we was, smoking some weed and we was, you just zoned out. And I remember at a certain time, at 4 a.m, people warming up their cars, and I said, man, look, we like robots out here. It didn't take much for you to look and say, do I want to do that? Do I want to work hard for nothing and not have none of the things that society is showing me that is worth anything? So it only makes sense as a child to say, yeah, this ain't wrong. This is economy. You can go to the liquor store, whatever the Hennessy is one of the most billion-dollar company. Why can't I sell a resource? This is supply and demand.
But you destroying your.
But what I'm saying is, I can't say you was wrong because all you was doing is looking from a simplistic place. This is supply and demand. That's the foundation.
Had I had knowledge itself, I could use that same template and not in my community.
But this is my thing.
Why you gotta destroy your own community?
But this is my thing. This is one thing I get kind of not upset about, but I hate when I see middle class moderates say, oh, you destroyed your community, man. You're like, hold on. When does a child have responsibility of a community? You as adults are supposed to be responsible for the child.
I agree with that.
So everybody's like, oh yeah, these are children.
See, then we can't do that. I was I went to jail, I got charged as an adult. I went to jail for something that happened when I was 16 years old. I got caught when I was 17 years old.
That's not adult.
As a child, I was destroying the community.
But as a child, you don't know no better.
I did know better. What are you talking about?
No, but this is what I'm saying.
That's that nigga shit. We got to stop that in our community. We got to hold our men accountable. That's bullshit. Them youngers in the community know that it's a ghost gun. You made this gun. If I pointed at you, real bullets come out. If I shoot you with it, I could be 15. If I shoot you with this gun, your ass gonna die. We got to stop that in our community, making excuses for bullshit. I don't like that.
But this is what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
I'm not making.
You are.
This is what I'm saying. As a child,
I was 17. I wasn't no child.
But what I'm saying,
I'm having sex. I'm shooting guns. I'm going to the go-go's. I'm not no child. I'm not. I can't go in the club. Or I got a fake ID. I can't do nothing legal.
So shooting and killing, taking another life is different from selling drugs, right? So what I'm saying is that our community, the adults around you, was only, as Kant would say in the German sociology, looking glass self, that we only know ourselves through our own, how people view.
Can I interject you by me being it? As a kid, you have a choice. Because I understand what you're saying, but I told him, you're going to jail. Stop doing this. He told me, nigga, fuck you, nigga. I'm about to go get this money. So even though you a child, you have people in the community that tell you right from wrong, and you choose, you make a conscious choice that I want to take the easy way. Everybody else doing, I'm just gonna roll around with it.
I agree with that.
Yay.
Yeah.
I told coming in with me.
Self-esteem.
Man, he's like, Tone, I'm getting this money.
And I understand that. And I do say,
and I wasn't the only one was telling. He had people in the community telling him this is not right.
It's easy to say when you seeing the. I guess what I'm saying, and we don't want to get long-winded on this.
Man, we've been long-winded. It's time for us to get off.
Okay, we don't have to get off. But I guess what I'm saying is that we are in a community, and that everything around us is reflecting. Not only does it reflect it, but just the general capitalistic society shows that this is how.
I think you're wrong
wealth
with this,
is.
Holmes.
Okay.
I think
Well,
I understand
look,
what you're saying.
What I'm saying,
but
subliminally, all wealth in this country has been off of the backs of other people in this country. Like, so what I'm saying is we just reflecting the larger picture. The larger picture, all these
I agree with them on that.
Kennedys, all these people,
I agree with
they
you.
created that.
But
All
you
this
trying to
wealth.
justify some bullshit.
No, I'm not trying to justify. I'm just saying all this. What I'm saying is that you use example. We have example from the top. That all wealth, even if it's conscious or subliminal, we know that all wealth was built off of some type of crime. That's just how it is in this modern day society.
But even though that is true, what you're saying, that don't mean you have to partake.
No.
And so you telling him, man, you was doing wrong, but it's okay to do wrong.
No, I ain't saying. No, I'm never saying it's okay to do wrong. I'm just saying that we reflect what society gives to us. Like, there's nowhere do we see any wealthy or any nation state that's in this current environment that wasn't created off of a crime. It's just that we didn't understand the acts. We don't understand warfare, and the warfare is against us. But all the other crime, all these people, they created large amounts of wealth off of crime.
Whatever you saying, you're right. So let's go.
Let's
go.
Okay.
Whatever you say, you win. I give up.
So
okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about, feminizing our boys. How you feel about that, Chan?
I think that we definitely being feminized by the TV. Matter of fact, I was looking at something. It's the Gay BCs.
Man,
you seen that? It's a book called The Gay BCs.
A what?
The Gay BCs. It's like the ABC book, but each letter represents something.
I was telling my wife the other day, I Googled it, and it's over 12 cartoons with gay characters in it. So if you come home and you're not paying attention, man, I had a hard day, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put you in front of TV and I'm going to go ahead and cook and get rid of everything. Man, you got to monitor everything.
They got Batwoman. You know who Batwoman is?
Yeah.
Batwoman is
Old school?
That's Batgirl.
Oh, no, I don't know
Batwoman is
It's
Batman's daughter.
Yeah.
She's a lesbian.
Yeah.
On TV?
Yes.
Oh, no, she black.
On what?
She black.
Yeah,
she black.
It's a cartoon or it's a magazine?
No, it's a
TV series. It come on Channel 3.
She gay. But homosexuality.
Oh, wow.
Our boys, we've been taught that that's okay.
Yeah.
And our women are accepting that it's okay. They are accepting that maybe you are born with a woman trapped inside of you. Now here go people that have been on the earth for millions and possibly billions of years with no history of homosexuality. The only history we have of homosexuality as black people with millions of years of history on the earth is when we came in contact with white people in the last couple of thousand years with the Greeks and the Romans.
Yeah. Man, I'm going to tell you something else I think too, man. I wouldn't be surprised if we were being
feminized through food. Yeah, Dr. Wesley Muhammad talk about that. He's talking about we've been feminized through food. We've been feminized through. He said the THC and marijuana is feminized in men.
Yeah.
We've been feminized with the culture, even the labels. Toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Toxic masculinity seeks to redefine what a man is.
But let me say this. I want to talk to you about that because I don't believe in toxic masculinity. Like if you say, "Hey man, that dude, he went home and killed his wife and kids because he was jealous," I don't think that's toxic. I'm gonna say that nigga crazy.
Right.
He's a criminal.
He's a criminal. Or if you say, "Man, hey, he took that girl and he took it," now he a rapist.
He's right.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But see, what they pushing on the ideological tip is if you don't accept cultural norms or white supremacy and the homosexual agenda. So toxic masculinity. Now we grew up with culture with traditional values as men. a man is hard work, and a man do this, a man do that, a man do
house.
this.
Yeah,
And so, because we hold fast with these terms that we was taught, and now they got a whole new segment of people now that they homosexuals, the alphabet boys. I ain't talking about the DEA. I'm talking about the LGBT. Them people, right?
Right.
When you talk about them, so we got a value system that we don't accept. That ain't socially acceptable to us. So because we don't socially accept that, society says we're wrong.
Right.
Not them. You are wrong. You are a toxic masculine man. Because you don't accept homosexuality, you don't accept that a woman should make more money than you, and you don't. So the cultural norm that you grew up with, the value system that we grew up with, that made us whole and made families, they beginning to redefine all of those terms. And so if you don't go along and get along with that, they're gonna say like there's something wrong with you. And we don't even see, and our people as a whole don't even see that this is a game that's being played. And make us feel like we're doing something wrong. So if you accept that you're wrong as toxic masculinity, when you accept that notion, then you don't have to adjust. So in your adjustment, what do you adjust? You adjusting your view on homosexuals. You adjusting your view on certain sexual pieces. You adjust, but you are adapting the homosexual agenda. You don't even know it.
Man, I think that you know, I was in 1972. Henry Kissinger, he went to Nixon and was like, man, these dudes, man, they just too aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So they changed the laws. You know, first being a homosexual, and I don't dislike homosexuals, none of that, but it was like a disease. And they changed the laws to make it.
That's right. According to the American Psychological Association, homosexuality was in the 70s was classified as a mental health disorder.
Yeah, a disorder. And they just start pushing the narrative because it's way easier to control guys that don't have that much testosterone in them. That's just feminine, I guess. And like I say, I'm not, you know, homophobic and all that, but I just want to, you know, just open your eyes to, man, I think that it's nothing wrong with holding people accountable or, you know, saying, man, this is wrong. You know, you can't even tell it, but if a person at 5-year-old, and I've seen it with my own eyes, I've seen 5-year-olds that show feminine possibilities, and they end up to be feminine. But I've also seen 5-year-olds to be feminine, and they end up to be cold killers and lovers and all that stuff. But I think, this is just me, I think at 5 years old, he's not mature enough to make that decision.
Right.
So I'm not going to go along with that. Once he get a little older and he still, or she still feel like, man, you know, I'm a man, I got a woman trapped in me, and they get 17, 18. Okay, but if you 5 years old, I'm not going out and buy you no dress.
I had experience with a sister, right? She's a lesbian, right? But she got 4 children. And she hang with, most of her friends are lesbians too. But all of them have children, right? So one day we was having a conversation. I said, you know you're not really a lesbian. Nor are your friends really lesbians. All of y'all had children. You just a hurt, disappointed, pain-filled woman. And so all of y'all identify with pain, hurt, and niggas ain't shit. So y'all band together and kiss and hug on each other. But you ain't really no lesbian because you got 3-4 children. All of y'all.
Man.
So,
man.
Hey, but let me ask you this. I guess you wouldn't know. I guess I got to call one of my gay friends. No, I ain't even trying to be funny.
Right, I definitely ain't gonna
Yeah, because a lot of women that say, man, I was hurt. Gay people don't mess around. Women don't mess around on women because that's human nature.
You know, I don't know too much about the subject, so
Yeah.
I can't say much. But one thing, this is a theory, is that from my understanding, women have been women to be around another woman is safer.
Okay. But what about the men? To be around another man safer too?
No, I'm just talking about for the women. For instance, hurt women like what he was talking about.
Okay.
I heard
I wasn't even trying to be funny. I got to call Bo up and ask Bo what happened.
No, but
Yeah, I hold my man up.
But from what I understand is that a lot of women have been in an abusive relationship. A lot of women might have been through child molestation or different things that abuse oriented by another man. And so a woman is a safer space.
Okay.
You know, so that's this one theory that I've heard. Well, I'm not too familiar with the subject, so I don't got much to say about it.
Well, you know, my main thing at this point is just trying to save our little boys, man. That's it, man. You know, hey, Champ, I'm a bus driver, Champ. And, man, I'll be on a bus, and I might be pulling up to the bus stop and like, woo, turn around. It's a dude.
Oh, I like that on George Avenue every day.
Yeah. Okay, man. I
want to ask him a question about, because you mentioned it earlier, but about, do you think it's something about, because I see these youngers, I don't know if they know, if they're conscious of it, but they be having their underwear showing and they butt out.
Hey.
What do you think is the subconscious reality of that? Like, I don't know, like, and they have,
it ain't no subconscious.
The thing is, they have spandex. They don't have like box.
That's to hold the gun. That's to hold the gun.
Oh, Champ, you be looking kind of high, don't you?
You ain't hit
what kind of drawers they have on?
Nah, man, you having you know these colorful drawers on and all that.
Spandex to hold the gun, bro.
Oh man,
that
okay.
Man ain't even hit the training pants on. That's to hold the gun in there.
Yeah. Okay,
training
Champ.
pants.
But the Nike pants, like the when you run it, the
running
pants.
No.
They got drawers on. That's to hold the gun.
Okay, gotcha.
You gotta hip you to the culture.
Man.
The last one, man, is man, after they then tried all these games and did everything, if they can't break your finances down or assassinate your character, they just assassinate you. That's the last one on the list. Assassination.
Fred Hampton. When you said that,
that's exactly what
first thing popped in my head was Fred Hampton.
Yeah.
Fred Hampton, they assassinate you.
Yeah.
Repeat that question.
You know who else I think about? Not only Fred Hampton, but a lot of people don't know Bunchy Carter. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I think these two guys were very was a threat, because they were trying to unite the gangs. And if you know history, in Russia, Stalin, before he became the Stalin that we know of, he was a gangster. He robbed banks, he did all that. But they didn't want to politicize that masculine energy, which is these gangsters, what is distorted masculine energy in these gangs. And Bunchy Carter, who was a part of Black Panther Party in LA, got killed on UCLA campus. He was one of the influential gang members, and then became politicized by the Black Power movement. And so these two were trying to unite the gangs. And when they saw that unity, and if they know history and what happened to Russia, because Russia's claim to fame is only 1% of the population instituted the revolution, overthrew the government. Only 1%. And so they know the power